I'm Nadine, an investor relations and business development from Monami Tech. We are a fintech digitizing solutions, and we're doing this for the underbanked, and it's around instant loans using social media credit scoring in addition to the traditional credit scoring methods. We identified a gap in the market. It takes 5 to 7 business days for the average loan approval in the UAE for personal loans, car loans. And as a lot of you know, as an expat, when you move here, your credit history doesn't travel with you. So you're being given loans based on a salary certificate, which is not really a payment history, credit history per se. So our flagship product, which is about to go into pilot testing with one of the large e-commerce players in the region, as well as a GCC bank that's expanding into Africa. This is what the sort of white labeled solution looks like, but it can be tailored to any bank, any look and feel, and it approves loans within minutes, again using the social media data. So it can pull. You're volunteering your information on your phone when you're applying for the loan, so it can pull about 10,000 data points. So are you on LinkedIn, Facebook, how many contacts, how long, where you check in, have you accessed online banking to give a willingness to pay. And we can do this, again, for financial institutions. We have banking clients already. We have we have 4 major clients where we have letters of intent. 2, we should have the master agreements within a couple weeks and be able to go into testing and launching within the next couple months. This is the sort of basic mock-up, and it will take the digital signature when the loan's applied for. It will link into, there's already approvals for UAE, the Al Ittihad Credit Bureau. It will look at the Emirates ID and verify the 16-digit code on the back to make sure it's valid. And then it can pull the social media scoring and the phone data. And once it's gone into sort of a pre-approval state, in the end, when the loan is dispersed or the product is acquired after the loan is given to the merchant, there'll be a biometric thumbprint validation, which syncs in with the UAE KYC. So we've already gotten the approvals for this type of thing in UAE, in India, and Kenya with the relevant authorities. Just to give an idea of the market opportunity, this is for the UAE only. It was in Gulf News. So in the last couple years, the average personal debt is in the consumer space, auto and personal loans, is around $11,000 to $12,000. So that's over $100 billion, for the population here. And then just beyond what we do for the Lend Me, which is the credit decisioning, which is a yes or no, you're applying for a loan for 3,000 dirhams. Then we can also do loan management. That's our Lend Pro product that's connected. So there are some companies that they may not have the loan management or wallet if it's an e-commerce player, or if they're just getting into a new market as a bank. And then the final piece would be LendGate, which would be credit decisioning to the point where it's not just a yes or no. You can borrow X amount, but you can actually borrow more or you can borrow less. And all this can be tailored to the client's specifications within the ranges of what they want to lend, with certain qualification questions. Have they been present in the country for a certain amount of time? Do they have a national ID, et cetera? We have a very high management team, Alpha. The founder, Amar Afif, came from a company called Cayenne, C-A-Y-N, in Boston. It was one of the large point of sales processors that got sold to TSYS, a US payments company, for over $1 billion in December. So Amar's been funding the company with over $1 million of his own money to date. And then the other 3 senior members of the team all came from Network International, the large point of sales processor in the region. Our CEO, Brian, was our head of sales, and the CTO and head of delivery were also in those type of roles at Network International.
I'd love to hear a little bit about how you've assessed the performance of your models based on social data against perhaps more traditional mechanisms against which we'd lend, so traditional scorecards, traditional bureau data. How do you compare in terms of the effectiveness of the lending efficiency?
So our partner on the social media scoring is a company called Lendo. It's with LENDDO. They've been doing this in Asia since 2011. So they managed to tweak for the markets, getting the default rates lower. As soon as we launch, we'll start to have more data, and then they can actually tweak the factors in the scoring, maybe up this a little bit for the social media part, or there's an overall score. But as it goes live, it'll get more accurate and be able to bring default rates down, and the lending better for the clients.
I can see a lot of competition in this space for you, to be honest. So how do you think you will make a difference in any market that you enter?
I mean, there's competition in parts of it. So we also do the digital onboarding even before we do the loans. So there are companies that do loan origination in a digital way, but no one's putting it all together in the same way, where it's within a few minutes, and it's using the social media scoring. So we're picking niches. I mean, the GCC bank that's expanding into Africa that wants to do this without branches, e-commerce players. So there's different niches we can have.
What's your revenue model?
So we get an upfront licensing fee, and then we'll get a recurring revenue and revenue share. So for example, per loan, we'd like to get, say, $10, depending on the size. And the e-commerce player we're about to launch with will make about $4 per loan. And we've come up with the average loan size for the e-commerce player would be $900. I think over 3 years we could do over 50,000 loans. So that's work together with the client to work out.
Thank you, Nadine.